Hey, remember me? Guys, Russ Van is back in Novelty Candy Marketplace. Got a bunch of goodies for you to see that just came in the mail for me to see as well. I'm going to start probably here. So I'll be running live streams from this group. One reason is my Instagram. Since I don't have 1,000 subs, they will no longer allow me to do live streams. And I was looking at YouTube, and it's the same thing. They'll let you go live on YouTube, but they'll take your video from you until you have 1,000 followers or subs, and then you'll get them back once you have 1,000. So there's no point on me to doing that until I get that many followers. Anyway, so we're going to open all this here from now on. So I'm back. I'll explain more about kind of what happened there about this group. And I'm going to get this group back in shape. I notice we have some scammers now. Anyway, so first thing out of the gate, this is something I already had, but I bought a couple more. They were super cheap. This is by Candy Castle, 2007, Hose Nose. You might remember their brain one, which is a better design. There's a brain. Anyway, it's listed in this group somewhere. But anyway, here's Hose Nose. The guy was selling them in twos. So I got a double. Very cool. Again, I already had this, but the price was too tantalizing or whatever. All right, let's put those down and move to the next one. I'm actually going to save this one for last. This is from a member of ours, actually. But yeah, the next one, this is something I accidentally bought. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever, put in sort of a higher bid or a max bid and you accidentally won something? Yeah, not sure why this one went for so cheap. I want to say I paid $50 or thereabouts for this thing. Or there's multiple things in here. All right, so this is going to be some old bubblegum items. There it is. Pretty heavy. You know, bubblegum's a lot heavier than candy. I've got some bins. I've got some bins of bubblegum that I can barely lift. They're so compact with bubblegum items that it's probably not a good idea. And plus, due to compaction and storage, and if there's any sort of heat in there, you're going to kind of ruin some of these gum items. You can kind of see what's probably going to be in here. Look at all that dentine. Let's get in here. Wow, this is man, I'm glad I won this. I will say, I did bid on it, obviously, but I didn't expect it to go for $50. I think I'm looking at about a $100 bill just right here. Amazing. Look at this. I want to say I'm looking at something from the late 70s, I would think. There's no date. Now, this is a 10-pack. Notice they're stacked in there. Okay, let's put that to the side. So that's a nice piece. Let's go ahead and make us a little display. Get the Hose Nose novelties. All right. Yeah, well, actually, I guess I can talk about this. While I open this, I'll kind of tell you where I've been, kind of what happened to this group. So I decided in 2022 to leave Facebook. I told everyone that I was quitting. Garbage Pail Kids mainly was my major thing. I was, I'm in that community. And I did... I was kind of being half serious about it. But the main thing, I was just trying to get off socials. I think after the pandemic, I was still just kind of in this mode of just spending so much time on my phone. I was just doing anything to just try to, detach, from the world. So I did that. But when I deactivated Facebook, I lost this group. Unfortunately, and I'm going to be honest with everyone right here. I did know that was going to happen. I was aware of that, and I was at peace with that. But that was 3 years ago, and People change. People have different feelings. You know, there was consequences to that I didn't realize. And so I'm back. We're going to clear up the group. We're going to clear out the scammers. And I'm going to start doing live streams in here because, again, transparency. I have nowhere else to go. Anyway, take a look. This is pretty amazing, actually. I think I'm looking at something from the 70s. These might be dated. I could be totally wrong. Okay, on the bottom here we see Toronto, Ontario. Actually went there last summer with my family. I'd never been to Canada at all and went to Toronto. You know, Toronto, if you didn't know, you can literally see New York City from Toronto. Just go to any like medium-sized building and you can see New York from it. So Toronto, I mean, I don't think anyone's ever called it this, but it's sort of like a sister, like cousin of New York City. Anyway, this is from Canada. Next one, we have this red one. Very striking. I think most people, when they think of Dentyne chewing gum, they think of the red design, right? And they have changed this design so many times. It makes it easier as a collector to date them, but you'd have to be like a Dentyne collector to date them. I want to say this one looks newer. Something about that curved banner makes it look newer to me. Okay, next we have another one of the classic reds. Notice it's a completely different design. Notice Adams is right there on the front. It says Taste the Tingle. I would love to pull a date off of one of these. Now this one says 2000. I'm reckon that would be the year. Not sure on that. I mean, now that I look at it, yeah, it does look kind of newish. Keep in mind, this would be 25 years ago. Then lastly, this piece. Let's see which one that would go with. You know, these might be just all over the place, to be honest, as far as dating goes. They're all completely different. Okay, we might get a date off of this one. Let's see. I don't know. I did notice this seller. I'm gonna not say his name. He has a bunch of like sealed bubblegum items, and notice a lot of them are dated on the bottom, as if maybe he was a dealer of some sort. Don't know any of that for fact, but just kind of guessing there, speculating, right? Look, guys, let's go ahead and get in this last one. This was from a friend of mine. It's going to be definitely the highlight, in my opinion, because I collect, I collect novelty candy. You know, Dentyne gum is not novelty. There's nothing funny about it. There's nothing striking about packs of chewing gum. Compared to a candy that's telling you to, drink out of a nose, right? Slime filled, they're trying to gross you out. Even has some weird added Halloween theme to it. All right, let's get in here. Yeah, so let's get the group back up, get the band back together, as we say. Yeah, it says right here, Tracy. She's one of the sweethearts of the hobby, our candy hobby. Guys, we got some bangers in here. Yeah, I broke down, spent a little money on this. No, she put birthday tissue paper in there. That is such a Tracy thing. I just love that. Always a joy to get something from Miss Tracy. Let's take a look. There's some bangers in here. And I picked this up because it was $12. I mean, you think about your life and the things you spend money on. I paid $6 for this morning, a venti shaken espresso, for example. And this costs, this is 2 espressos to buy this. What this is looks to be early 2000s, I would guess. Runts. Willy Wonka Runts. Man, I do miss that logo so much. Just even this logo. You know, they had other logos that were better, but I'm just saying. Just this logo was great, right? This purple Wonka one. So, very nice. This is what I had to have more than anything. Moon rocks. Yeah, this is Especial. The makers of Pop Rocks made this one, Moon Rocks. This is my first Moon Rocks, guys. They've made multiple Moon Rocks theme ones. This is my first, believe it or not. So look at that. Great looking thing. Now let's take this one out. It's got to come out anyway. I tell you one thing. When I picked this up, it's surprisingly light. It's got that foil pack that you would expect from anything by this company. Again, it's Zeta Especial. Probably pronouncing it wrong. Moon rocks. Don't know the date on this. Maybe 70s or 80s. 80s I've leaned to. Super happy to have this. It's a great size. Fits in the hand amazing. Might as well take this out too. Wait, there's more. Also picked this up. This is a fruit candy. Sort of the same theme. I love the space theme. That's one of my subcategories in collecting candy is space and aliens. And so cosmic candy, it fits right in. I mean, it has a sun, has the orbit with the candy pieces to mimic the moons and planets orbiting a star. The date on this is 2006, so it's almost 20 years old. It's made by Sherwood. I don't get a lot of Sherwood here in Georgia. I'm not sure where they distribute to. I have seen them sometimes in dollar stores. You don't see a lot of Sherwood, to my knowledge, in like a Walmart. Guys, this thing has some age to it, so let me tell you about this. This appears to be a 1990s Japanese. Anything from Japan in that 90s or 80s, of course, 70s, whatever. But anything that has some age to it from Japan is really rare. It doesn't come on the American market very much. Not sure where she picked it up, but you can. This represents a bento box. A bento box in Asian culture is sort of like a lunch box. I've been to restaurants, maybe you have, where you ordered a bento box. It's usually made out of bamboo, though. It's like a bamboo wood, the bamboo. And it'll have rice, like it's a tray. It'll have rice. It'll have, things you would think you would need for sushi, the different mustard and shit. And then you'd have your entree here, whatever it was. Here in the package, we see, their design of it. Maybe these could be egg rolls or something along those lines. Not really sure. But yeah, this thing has some age to it. It's quite amazing. I love everything about it. This printed on the cello is great of the lettering. This is just not something you'll probably ever see again. That's how rare this is. Love the anime character. Great piece. Not sure why it took me 3 weeks to buy that, but it did. What a dumb move on my part. I should have bought it day one. Lastly, she sent a gift. She's really good about doing that kind of thing. Yeah, let me promote her real quick. I did cut right through her damn name. I'm trying to cover up some addresses here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, this is what her thing looks like. On eBay, go find Sugary Sweet Vintage. What you'd have to do is go into your main search bar on eBay and type in that store. She has a store. And, look for her. Just look for her and look at her items. She's always posting banger things. This one, I'll be honest, I didn't have this one either. So she sent me a gift, like a real gift here. Yeah, Dippin' Dots. Dippin' Dots, I've started noticing their candy crossover, I want to say, starting about 6 years ago. But yeah, I didn't have this one. So what this is, it's Taffy Bites. It's not ice cream. You think of Dippin' Dots, you think of ice cream, right? It's made by Coco's 2024. So that is really cool. Sort of mimics one of their candy. I want to say it's a half pint size. Sometimes in these gas stations they'll have a Dippin' Dots freezer, and you'll see a size almost like this. I think it's their half pint of ice cream, but this isn't ice cream, it's candy, so it's one of their novelties. So thank you to Miss Tracy for those items. Let's do a little review here. Just got in a Dentine Ice small little archive. Different years. I think the newest one was this one, which is the year 2000. But I want to say something like this would be late 70s. Totally guessing. And then I want to say that's 80s, and maybe these are 90s. Something along those lines. Then we got in these crazy ones from Candy Castle. This is their hose nose. It's a grotesque nose where you drink the candy from the nostrils. So it falls in sort of that booger category of gross novelties. Then I got this miscellaneous lot from the Cellar Sugary Sweet Vintage. We got the amazing Moon Rocks from the maker of Pop Rocks. We got the amazing Cosmic Candy from the obscure Sherwood brand. We got an early 2000 Runts for $12. We got this 1990s, I want to say probably the mid-90s here. There might be a date on here somewhere. I didn't look. A bento box novelty. So instead of a bamboo one, of course, instead of a real one, it's a plastic one for little children, and it comes with candy in it. I want to say cookies, though, because I'm seeing a lot of cookie dust, what I think is cookie dust, some sort of dust on this thing. But I'm going to leave it just like this. Now, if the dust was oily and was leaving oil stains on this cardboard header, I would open it and clean it, but I don't see evidence of any oil staining. Notice how I said oil. Yeah, I'm from the South. Lastly was a gift, a Coco's Dippin' Dots Taffy Bites. Very cool, from last year. Hadn't even seen them, so that's really sweet. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be seeing you around the group, and let's get this group back together, at least get it cleaned up, right? No expectations besides just a little cleanliness and getting things back in order, right? All right, thank you, guys. See you around. Russ Van out. Let's look at this one more time. Moon Rocks.